Why don't you request zoning change before explaining how and why? In other words, explaining what we're doing tonight. Why are we doing, and that's really how that works, and that is that we make the application, and then the application goes from the county to the town. And I think it was just a communication thing. For whatever reason, communication wasn't clear, and we didn't have an opportunity to make this presentation a month ago. We're very glad to be able to do it now. And so I think that is what happened.
Here's a good general one. Please explain the zoning requirements, change of zoning, zoning or variance. Who approves? Town board, county board?
I can do that to the best that I understand it. Gaylord might help me, and Jeff could also maybe help me. So as I understand it, the local unit of government, Franklin Township, provides a opinion to the zoning at the county level. The county level can then approve it, ignore it, or reject it, and then it goes to the full county board of supervisors for approval or concurrence with the other committee in the township level, or overturn it. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
All right. Somebody asked the question, how is our site affected by proposed overhead electric lines? As far as I understand, they're not going over our property, so I don't think we're affected.
Well, there's an underground there.
Well, there's underground there, but we'll reroute that.
There's a question. 37 cents of every dollar stays here. What about the other 63 cents? Well, that's how it depends on how you spend it. That's I'm not an economist. We have done some research on some economic information that is available. The bigger point is that if there's a new business in town and there's local people that are making good money working there, they're going to go to everywhere from the local store, the local tavern, the local restaurants, and they're going to spend some of that money. And they're going to spend some of that money in other places too. But there's going to be more people that have jobs than before. And that's probably in simple terms. This statistic came from an article that we can give to you to resource and read yourself as well.
Is it on our website? It's on our website, so if you would like to look at it, you're welcome to do that. How you doing? Everybody okay? All right. It'll stay as long as it takes. Okay. We're good with that.
Seventh inning stretch.
Somebody asked the question. We've answered it, but what kind of processing is going to be done on sites? There isn't any processing on site. This is a say it again, and I know that you all understand this. This is a dig and haul operation.
The processing will be done by others that you will either sell your sand to or contract with.
That's correct.
So you're not going to have a wash plant, you're not going to have a dry plant, you're not going to have any of the typical appurtenances or equipment that you'd see up by Taylor.
Someone asked about structures on site. There aren't. I don't believe there's going to be any permanent structures on site. And what's that? Our scale will be a permanent structure, but we're not. You know, at this point we haven't planned any. Sometimes you want to maybe get your equipment out of the weather, but right now we haven't planned it.
Probably a construction trailer would be that.
Yeah. They asked a question about dust. How will it be controlled? It's regulated. It's regulated, and it has to be controlled, and it's watered down. And so.
Is that on the county road as well?
Right. county roads are asphalt, but they have to be kept clean. Yeah, they have to be kept clean.
The loads will be covered leaving the mine.
Yeah, and the loads are covered in tarps.
How about coming back?
Always, tarps are on. Tarps are on. And that's one of the things, as we work through the details of it, you know, there's, you know, we talked about this as a daylight operation, and it really is, you know, but it's not, you know, so we're not real specific as to what those hours are. And we talked about it as being a, not a 7-day, 24-hour operation. But that's still, that is all open for discussion as we go through the process. We are very, we want to be very sensitive, maybe we're not, but we want to be very sensitive to what the community, what works for the community. And so if there's something very specific going on at a certain time, and we need to work around that, we can work around it, you know? And there's different ways to run your trucks. You can run them and you can team them, you can run them 2 or 3 together, you can run them 4 minutes apart, there's a lot of options. And so those are all things that we are very glad to discuss and talk about.
Well, here's one. Is it not true that one of you is a personal inquiry lawyer or other type of practicing lawyer? Well, no.
No.
No, not that smart.
There must be another person in the cross with the same name then. Is that true?
I don't know.
Oh, I have no idea. We don't know. We're not attorneys.
We're not attorneys, no.
I'm an architect. I have been for 20 years. You can find me. I'm registered with the state. John's a home builder, and he's been in the construction business as a building developer. And Doug has been a local businessman in the La Crosse area. He's developed computer software. He's done other businesses of that nature. And my experience is with construction project management. I'd likely be the closest contact on the construction site. John is more in the business development side of things for the way we work things. And someone has to know how to run a business, and that's what Doug would do for us. But none of us are attorneys. Here's a question. What grade of sand are we currently looking for? How will the market affect future mining? Will you need to go deeper than you are proposing now? Go ahead.
I don't think we have grades of sand. Now, sand is typically sold to the proppant industry by size distribution. And going from coarse to fine, the typical designation is 20/40, 30/50, 40/70. And those numbers represent approximate number of openings per inch. So a 20 size is a bigger size grain than a 70. Okay? Right now, because of the abundant natural gas, there's less demand for that smaller size material and more demand for the 20/40 size, which is exactly why this site is valuable to these guys, because that's the majority of their material is of that bigger grain size. So that speaks to the curing. What was the rest of that?
And it happens to be closer to the surface too.
Yeah. Okay. Will you go deeper? The answer to that is in the permit that Gaylord has got in reviewing. It talks about specifically our targeted area for development or excavation. They will be limited in their conditional use as that development or that permit comes to the forefront to what they do and how they do it. So that'll all be prescripted in the permit. If they want to change that, they have to modify the permit, which reopens all the process for how that permit gets issued. So based on talking to these guys, their understanding of the market, and our directive, the way that we issued the 135 application to the county was for the work that we expected to do and it wasn't speculative off into the future of what could happen or what might happen.
There's some related questions here, Tom. Sid, I think you just answered this. What permits do you need? Expected depth of the mine, groundwater level at this site, any part below the water table? No.
Yeah, okay, so we're not digging below the water table. There's plenty of separation that John spoke of earlier